Hey, I think we're back.
Hey, y'all. Sorry.
My internet,
Big football.
I think I knocked my internet out by mistake.
Big football cut our cables here. Conspiracy by the NFL.
Still getting used to the whole new internet thing. And I need to clean it up so I don't accidentally knock out the dang plug.
Yeah, you need to make sure there are no viruses in your email.
Pretty much. We're going to go ahead and check over Rancho Robusto. That is a final score. They have done the dang thing. They will be the team representing the goods division in the BSB championship game. We're going to head over and go over to Kathy's and Abigail Mays. Del Grangos are down by 13 points with 41 seconds to go. Kathy's have the ball in the red zone with 24 seconds to go. 1-800-BUY-IT with 2 minutes to go. We'll go back to that game in just a moment. Let's see what Kathy's can do. If they can punch it in, they could have just punched their ticket to a championship game. They do it. Tariq Ramsey. Woo! Still time to play. 22 seconds to go. But Kathy's have taken a 1-point lead. And Del Grangos have scored. Hang on, we're going to stick with this. We're going to see they're going to go for 2. Del Grangos just scored. They're going to go for the onside kick. I can tell you Kathy's went for 2. They did not get it. Binging Texan have recovered the onside kick, which means I think that's going to leave Kathy's to maybe have taken a championship, a spot in the championship game.
Oh no!
Del Grangos, when it mattered, could not do it. Will Abigail Mays? They've got one chance to get it. They got to get it down to field goal range. They can kick it for the win. We're keeping an eye on the other game as well. Quick check into there. 1-800-BUY-IT. They are in the red zone. They've got a lead by 4 points. A wide open spot. They look like they're going to do it. They just took added daylight between them and Ted's. Abigail Mays, 13 seconds to go. Binging Texan. That is a final.
Defense.
So that's going to mean Del Grangos have been eliminated from that.
Still first down.
We're going to look
Moving right into the Trumpster.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. We're looking at what else has happened. Big Paul's. They've got the win over Busted Rubber, so they are going to represent their division. Captain Shucks lost to Salmon Sons. Horse Pussy Saloon, they look like they are losing to Ballet Bob's, which means the winner of Taxes and Welders, which is currently Taxes Roadhouse. It could be Taxes Roadhouse taking on Big Paul's in the BCC championship game. They're calling the timeout. They just lost a couple of yards from the 25. They've got one. They're going to try to move it a little bit closer. They go for the end zone. They're going to have to kick it. It's incomplete. They figured, why not try? This is not necessarily a gimme of a field goal. In fact, it looks like they're just going for it. That would actually be like a 40-plus yard field goal, which is not makeable for these kids. There's the last chance. Oh, it's a turnover. Kathy's have done it. Kathy's Country Cooking will take on. Let me take a look and see. They will take on Flappy Pappy's Pancake Shanty in the Gluttony League Championship game. We're going to head back. That's going to be it for them.
Oh, boy.
Ted's Baby Clothes Emporium have moved downfield. This game is by no means over. 1-800-BUY-IT have just gotten the first more than one score lead of this game.
Number 18, the intended receiver on the play. That makes it 2nd and 10.
Meanwhile, Diddlers and Shoeless Jims are going to overtime at 45-45. Holy cow. Yep, Kathy's Country Cookin' have made their way into a championship game. They will take on Flappy Pappy's Pancake
And that's
Shanty.
the cure. And winning is the cure for economic anxiety.
Yep. That'll be 7-3 Cathy's versus 6-4 Flappy's. Teds have gotten a touchdown. Back to one score. They're probably going to go for 2 and make it a 3-point game. So just to check things out here, Big Paul's versus Texas Roadhouse is your BCC championship game. The Big Small Business Conference will be fought between Rancho Robusto and Casa de Gordoso. They have gotten the win, a slender one over House of Guffaws, 31-28. That's a final score. Wandering Lush versus Kebab Barkers. We knew that from the early session. Flappy Pappy's Pancake Shanty versus Cathy's Country Cookin'. Hacking Jeans versus Holy Balls. And CTE versus the winner of this. They do not get the 2-point conversion, so this is the last space we are trying to fill in.
It's
11 spots in next week's games have been established. Who will take those last spots?
It's gonna be so close.
It really will be. Just gonna look for our.
By the way, I don't know if we covered this before the power cutout. Turner Field, very, very easily recognizable. It's like the disused Circuit City of college football stadiums.
Face mask, defense.
Like, oh goodness, this definitely used to be a baseball stadium.
Love it.
Still first down.
Looking for there's that and yeah, 1-800 Bayadad. They are just taking a knee. They're gonna take this one. It'll be all over 42-37. 1-800 Bayadad. And you know, we were talking earlier about teams that basically have. They're kind of just perennial favorites in the in South Tucson youth football.
Well,
1-800 Bayadad is one of those teams that just is always in the running.
They're almost like the closest thing we have to an Ohio State or a Bama or a USC.
Yeah, well, they haven't been like that. They haven't been the tops, but they've been in the running. They've just been constantly there.
Oh, okay, so they're more like an Oklahoma or a Georgia then.
I think so. Let's go Oklahoma because you know that's a really good comparison to them. They're gonna get the win, 42-37. And yeah, we're gonna take a look at some of these. So as we move on to the end of the regular season, man. Got some interesting things. So, next week. Next Sunday. Back to Sunday. Time to be determined because I'm going to see what time I get back. And we're going to see. It might not even be Sunday. We might move it to New Year's Day. All things are up in the air. Just keep an eye on the Twitter. I'm going to put a little Twitter feed thing at the bottom of this channel as well. Like the new schedule. Hope you guys like the new schedule that's down there. Look at that. There's a whole bunch of fun stuff happening.
Look at all that stuff.
So, this is where we are at with Championship Week. I'm going to go through all these games, and we're just going to talk about them for a split second. American Freedoms Conference, Hacking Jeans, Smokeless Tobacco Warehouse, 7-3, taking on 7-3 Holy Balls. Man, that's going to be a good one.
Your spit cup into the sporting goods store, but you can't get a 10% discount.
The sporting goods stores sell chaw, right? You can buy them at like some of them, right? I think Modell's would sell chaw. If Modell still exists, you can definitely buy some chaw at Dick's, and you can definitely buy some dick at Chaw's. I assume Chaw's is a place somewhere.
I worked that street corner.
So that'll be a good game. That'll be Hacking Jeans versus Holy Balls. The Child Services Conference will have 6-4 Crash Zone Trampoline Experience taking on 6-4 1-800 Bayadad for a spot in the playoffs.
These dads are for sale, and they're gonna jump all over the trampolines.
They sure are. That's when your dad gets when you take your kids to the trampoline park, and then your dad starts having a go at it, man, it's either a good time or someone's gonna get really, really
Or
hurt.
somebody's trying to make one last attempt to get into the Slam Ball League.
Absolutely. If anyone has a Slam Ball League, South Tucson probably still does. They need something for the adults to do.
It's Arizona and it's China. Those
Yeah.
are the two main hotbeds of Slam Ball.
I mean, if only they just talk to one another. And by the way, Moist Adventures at 7-3, missing out. Septic Thanks for Jesus, by the way, 7-3. So some good teams missing out on championship games like that. In the big small business division, 8-2, Rancho Robusto Plus Size Warehouse taking on 7-3, Casa de Gordoso Hourly Motel. Missing out on the play. Missing out on.
You can check in anybody that's just like 5 small children in a trench coat purchased from Rancho Robustos who will check in a Casa de Gordoso motel.
Pretty much. Casa de Gordoso 7-3, Rancho Robusto 8-2. That might be one we watch. That might be one of the featured games, I think, based on that. Missing out, Extreme Dentistry 7-3, Mulch Hut 7-3, Marmalade Shack 6-4. Those are some decent teams that put on a late charge. Again, 6-4 probably not going to do it for the playoffs unless you win a auto bid. In the Foreign Legion, Wandering Lush 8-2, taking on Kebab Barkers 4-6. That's crazy. That Kebab Barkers 4-6. They won it on a tiebreaker. They had a win over second to none in week 5. That did it for them. Missing out in that one, Nothing But Borscht 7-3. Fell to 5-2 in conference. Wandering Lush took it over for them. Wandering Lush and Nothing But Borscht, those are two really good teams. They were 1-2, I think, going into this week. Were they not? Yeah, they were 1-2. So that's going to probably, at the very least, flip. Wandering Lush probably going to be the number 1 team in South Tucson, followed by Rancho Robusto. Abigail May is probably going to drop a little bit from number 4 after that loss. Probably not too much, but we'll see. Anyway, BCC, Blue Collar Conference. Twin Towers, Big Paul's Mexicanless Car Wash at 6-4 will take on Taxes Roadhouse, also at 6-4. Twin Towers Construction at 7-3, 5-2 in conference. They lost the tiebreaker to Big Paul's. They're missing out on that championship game. Going to have to hope that their at-large resume is going to be good enough. Not sure it will be. We'll see. It's going to be a big log jam. Gluttony League. Flappy Pappy's Pancake Shanty at 6-4 will take on Kathy's Country Cookin' at 7-3, 5-2 in conference, missing out. The entire fine dining division. Listen to these records. This is amazing. Kathy's Country Cookin', division champion, 7-3, 5-2 in conference, right?
A meat and 3 is very good fine dining.
Meat and 3, yeah. Binging Texans, 7-3, 5-2 in conference. Lost the tiebreaker to Kathy's. Lost to Kathy's in week 9. That was the game they could have clinched it with. Instead, they lost, and they lost on a tiebreaker. Abigail May's Aggressive Steakhouse. Del Grango's Discount Seafood. Diddler's Family Restaurant. All 3 of those teams are 6-4, 4-3 in conference. Beat up on each other and just whooped everybody else, basically. Like, that's impressive.
That's so good.
That's a really good division. Like, what in the hell? Like, talk about a lopsided division. Because, okay, here we go. The rest of the Gluttony League, the Quick Service division, 4-3 won the division. The other 4 teams were 3-4, and then 3 teams at 2-5.
Whew. Ooh.
Talk about a lopsided. Is there ever a conference that's been that lopsided in football?
Well, the Southeastern Conference, for one.
Pretty usually, yeah. Like, that's crazy. Every team in the fine dining division has a winning record, 6-4 or 7-3. Only one team in the Gluttony League's quick service division has a winning record. That's Flappy Pappy's at 6-4. Tremor's Pizza, 5-5. Everybody else is losing record. So at least we got, like, at least based on all this, only one team with a really a subpar. I'm looking at these title games. Hacking Jeans and Holy Balls both are at 7-3. Cool. Rancho Robusto Casa de Gordoso 8-2 and 7-3. Cool. Big Paul's and Taxes Roadhouse both of them at 6-4. You know what? Okay. CTE and Bayadad both at 6 and 4. Again, okay. Wandering Lush, Kebab Barkers, that's your 1, 8 and 2 versus a 4 and 6 team. That's crazy. And Flappy Pappies are 6 and 4, taking on Kathy's at 7 and 3. Only one team won their division and just basically shit the bed on the non-conference games. Kebab Barkers, and whoo boy, those aren't really any good non-conference games. That is not a resume to hang your hat on. They lost to Autopsies by Candace, who are 4 and 6. They lost to Cramblers, who are 7 and 3. They lost to Twin Towers, who are 7 and 3. So that's Cramblers, who are 3 and 7, and they lost to Twin Towers, who are 7 and 3. So there's their one tough game that they did.
Yeah, there was a 7 and a 3 somewhere.
Yeah, that's not good. Last I checked. So Kebab Barkers, way to back your way into a conference championship game. Congratulations, you're going to face the number 1 team in South Tucson, though. So
the Kebab Barker super weapon charging up. It's got its laser focus all set.
They really are the Pit this year, huh?
Oh my God! Yes,
they backed their way into it. Well, Pitt did clinch it a little earlier, but Kebab Barkers just backed themselves into that. That's amazing.
Ryan Searle got halfway to a 9-dart leg.
Oh.
And still has a magnificent mullet.
Yeah, he does. Is it a mullet or is it just long hair?
It's just long and unkempt hair that you know he's going to have like a horrendous bald spot in 5 years' time.
I feel like when he's done playing, he's going to grab an acoustic guitar and like play some light rock at a bar.
I feel like in 5 years' time, he's going to have like Baron Corbin before he shaved his head.
Yeah. Okay, what I'm really saying is he looks like Edwin McCain, and that's bothering me. Before Edwin McCain cut his hair. And only I would know that because no one really knows who Edwin McCain is or what he looks like, other than that one song he did. 2 songs. Yeah, I'm looking around at these. Like, these are going to be some good games. I'm not even sure which one we're going to go ahead and focus on and show. I feel like Rancho versus Costa de Grodoso is the obvious one.
Oh, yeah. That's got to be a barn burner.
8 and 2 versus 7 and 3. That's an obvious one. Flappies versus Kathy's could be one. I mean, okay, we're going to have live look-ins of all of them. But that second one, it could do Big Paul's versus Captain Texas. Kebab Barker's Lush, maybe. It might be Hacking Jeans versus Holy Balls. 2 7 and 3 teams. Those might be the 2 featured games next week. So that's it. Man, what a season. We're looking at the RPIs, by the way, at the teams. We were saying that like 3 losses or 2 losses was what you needed to do to get into the playoffs. 4 losses was not going to do it for you. That stays true. Rancho Robusto, Wandering Lush. I feel like those 2 teams are still safe even with a loss in their championship game. They're both 8 and 2. Then we got 11 teams at 7 and 3. So yeah, you're 6 and 4 unless you're winning a division, unless you're winning a conference title, you're out. Sorry. Sorry to teams like Abigail Mays, Bully Factory, Del Grangos, Diddlers, Second to None, and the Marmalade Shack. Sorry, you're pretty much out.
Oopsie.
Teams like Bayadad, Big Paul's, CTE, Flappy Pappies, Second to None, Taxes Roadhouse. You better win. Better win next week because 6 and 4 ain't doing it for you. 7 and 4 is going to have to be what you get in with, and it's going to be an auto bid. So there'll be a selection show special. I'm going to put together a video. It might just be released on YouTube. We'll see. I haven't figured that out yet. I haven't thought that far in advance, but we'll see. So that's going to do it for us. RJ, thank you for joining me. I know you've been kind of recovering from the University of Rhode Island and Rick Majerus. Yeah. You're being haunted by Rick Majerus' ghost.
Oh man. Man, Rick Majerus is just relentless.
That's not a good ghost to be haunted by. Like, I would, if I could choose dead coaches, Rick Majerus would not be anywhere close to my my choice of who I'd want to be haunted by. But Yeah, so that's going to be it. We'll see you next Sunday, likely. Make sure to check the Twitter. If you haven't followed the Twitter already, it's below. The link's below. Our YouTube's there. All this is going to go up on YouTube. Someone just said hi. I feel bad if you've just joined us. We're about to finish up. Yeah, go enjoy the darts. Enjoy the rest of the day. Enjoy whatever bowl game might be good today. I think one of them's going to be... I think the one that's on, like, in a half hour could be good. It's Houston Army. It's going to be weird as hell. It's going to be fun. Like the fastest offense versus the slowest offense in college football. No hyperbole there. Please tell me Georgetown won today. I would like to see that. I'm worried they didn't because it's Rich Schwatkins. They went to overtime with Arkansas Little Rock, and they won, but they went to overtime. Rich Schwatkin, who is the voice of the Hoyas on the radio since like the 70s, basically, calls his 1400th game today. And that's kind of awesome. He's an institution.
Wow.
Yeah, he is an institution. Wow. Yeah. So I'm glad his 1400th game was a win, albeit in overtime, making him work extra. How dare you? But don't worry, I'll worry about college basketball when it's, conference.
Awful thought. Owen Wilson performing the Gangrel entrance theme. Wow. Wow.
Ooh, Memphis versus Wake Forest is a 2-point game, y'all. I might have to throw that on. I don't even know what bowl game that is. And I really wish Yahoo Sports would tell me what bowl game it is. It just tells me that, it's the Birmingham Bowl. It's the Jared Birmingham Bowl.
It's Jared Birmingham and his bowl.
Yeah.